The summer of 2010 witnessed Pakistan's worst flooding in 80 years, affecting more than 20 million. It all started with heavy rain in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa on July 22, 2010. The downpour resulted in the overflowing of rivers, sending water from one corner of the province to the other before flowing south into Punjab and Sindh. An estimated 1,300 to 1,600 people died in these floods. Even as Pakistani and international relief officials scrambled to save people and property, they despaired that the nation's worst natural calamity had ruined just about every physical strand that knit the country together: roads, bridges, schools, health clinics, electricity and communications. The flooding eventually affected about one-fifth of the country, nearly 62,000 square miles, an area larger than England. The country's infrastructure has been devastated by the floods. More than 5,000 miles of roads and railways have been washed away, along with some 7,000 schools and more than 400 health facilities. United Nations officials said a shortage of aid funds has left some 6 million people, majority of them children and infants, at risk of lethal diseases. Aid workers have confirmed the first reports of cholera in the Swat Valley of northwestern Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province and in the remote Rajanpur district in Punjab. The floods submerged about 17 million acres of Pakistan's most fertile croplands in a nation where farming is an economic mainstay. Floodwaters have also killed more than 200,000 heads of livestock and washed away large quantities of stored commodities that feed millions throughout the year. The destruction has pushed back Pakistan by many years, if not decades, and it may take a few years before the country's economy could stand on its own feet again.
Agencies of Shelter Cluster have appealed for more aid from the UN as they continue to make efforts for the rehabilitation of flood affectees in Pakistan. Shelter Cluster is a network of UN agencies, foreign and national NGOs coordinated by International Organization for Migration. They had appealed for $322 million but received only $126 million from the UN Relief Fund. So far, they have distributed emergency shelters in the form of tents to some 8,064,000 households. They've also distributed over 1.62 million blankets, 3,04,000 bedding sets, 4,07,000 kitchen sets and 66,000 toolkits. These essential items have protected homeless families from extreme weather and also allowed them to cook emergency food rations. Shelter Cluster spokesperson says more blankets are urgently needed to combat the cold weather.